Good evening, folks. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Tom, and this is the simulcast, up and running now on CBS television and radio. It is Thursday night, the 19th of October, 1995. My friend David Halberstam is here tonight, author of many terrific books, Pulitzer Prize-winning correspondent for his coverage of the Vietnam War for the New York Times. Also tonight, AIDS activist Mary Fisher, who electrified the 1992 Republican National Convention with her emotional appeal for understanding in the wake of the AIDS epidemic in this country. Today was Visit the Granddaughter Day. I haven't seen her for quite a while. She's 5.5 years old, and we spent about an hour today playing something called Doll Jacuzzi, where you put dolls in the kitchen sink while the water is running. I said, you know, she's in kindergarten now. She's 5.5, and she's very proud of that. And I said, and Madeline, who are your friends at school? And she mentioned, you know, Heather and Jacqueline and Susan and Bernadette. I said, do you have any boyfriend? She said, no, Grandpa Tommy. I said, why not? She says, because none of the boys will play with me because I always try to kiss them. Madeline, we're starting down the wrong road here. I've mentioned time and oft here that I worked for 5 years in Philadelphia at our affiliated station there, KYW-TV, Channel 3. Doing a variety of jobs. I was a reporter of the news. I anchored the news. I did a talk show in the morning there where people would come in and we'd visit with them and folks would call on the phone. And I went back there the first week in September just to visit KYW and to do an interview with a man named Larry Kane, who anchors the 11 o'clock show, the 11 o'clock news on Channel 3 there, and who does a once-weekly magazine program for Philadelphia, which is called The Bulletin, named after the old newspaper, the legendary Philadelphia Bulletin, which nearly everybody in Philadelphia read until it went out of business some years ago. And during the course of this interview, he brought up pranks that I would do with fellow employees at Channel 3. Like one night, there was a very nice man, probably still is a very nice man, named Tom Bryson, who was the news director. And he was standing in front of me talking with somebody, and I had in my hand a plate of spaghetti and meatballs from the Italian place next door. And something compelled me to dump this over the top of his head. And he just, I mean, it was terrible what I did to this guy. And he turned around and I said, I know you're going to hit me, and you should hit me, but before you hit me, I'm sorry I did it. And he started to laugh. He didn't know anything about it. And then Kane brought up a story from 30 years ago that I had filled the water coolers with scotch. And I said, that is absolutely untrue. I said, I never put scotch in the water coolers. I put vodka in there, but I never put scotch. And I said, as I recall, these were some of the happiest days we ever had in the Channel 3 newsroom. In fact, I may well start it here. It'll save a lot of trips out to the damn water tower, I can tell you this. So now he said, and there was a reporter there named Malcolm Poindexter who did the early morning cut-ins. He said, then Poindexter says that you lit his script on fire. And I said, so help me God, I never lit anybody's script on fire at this television station. And I didn't know how they were going to play it. Here is a part of the videotape from the Bulletin on Channel 3 in Philadelphia that is self-explanatory.
Now, Malcolm Poindexter still works here. And
You've got to be kidding me.
I was reading the lead story on the set, over film in those days. My script began to go up in flames.
Well, what's the story?
No, I did not ever do anything to Malcolm Poindexter while he was on the air.
I was anchoring alone, and he walked over, and he took off one of his sneakers and passed it under my nose.
I never did a prank on Malcolm Poindexter. As God is my witness, I never did.
Really? There was another person you talked about in those days, and this is the quote. You were leaving for L.A., and the Philadelphia Magazine interviewed you, and they asked you what you thought of this young man and his team, and you said, I think you said, he's younger, he's tougher, and no one will watch him.
Was it you?
Yes.
My thanks to Larry Kane and all the good folks at Channel 3 in Philadelphia for that afternoon and for the lovely coverage you gave us during our visit there. By the way, we no longer have to go out and visit the water tower. Thanks to the genius of Michael Kelly Cullen, the executive assistant to the host of this program, that'd be me, the water tower lives right here in the studio. You'll see what I mean. Well, as a matter of fact, you see what I mean right now. There it is in all of its glory. It looked so much better this afternoon in broad daylight. It's kind of cute, though, isn't it? Yeah, the flashing lights, the whole thing. Yes, sir. Don't have to visit it. It's right here in the studio. Settle back, fire up the simultaneous now, and join David Halberstam and Mary Fisher as we fly the pictures through the air. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Last week we thought we had a 24-hour bug.
But we may have had a mild case of salmonella poisoning.
They came from bacteria, which was spread around our kitchen to other foods.
Now we use Lysol antibacterial kitchen cleaner. As it cleans, it kills the bacteria.
Scam that preyed on your children. At 2 News, we know it's not the equipment. It's how you use it. It's people who know how to dig. People who know their way around. Smart reporters. New York to the bone. 2 News.
How come Hollywood said Sigourney Weaver would never make it big?
You're kidding, right?
Live with the latest, next day and date.
Monday at 3 on Channel 2.
In Greater New York, 10 times a day, the Red Cross helps victims of fires and other disasters, large and small. Please help the Red Cross help New York.
At the North Shore Animal League, we bring friends together. Adopt a free dog, cat, puppy, or kitten at the North Shore Animal League, where the best friends in life are free.